I think history is being made today, in the fact that, or in the sense that Charlie Kirk has now made his entry into the Petty Pendergrass production video archives, if you want to call it that. And honestly, I can't think if I've done a triple P on Charlie Kirk before or not, but either way, if I have, what's another entry? But I truly believe this might be the first one. So why is Charlie entering into the triple P archives? Well, one of my subscribers sent me this lovely story coming from Raw Story, where apparently Charlie Kirk was to go speak at this school and he was met with everything but cheers. They met him with boos, they heckled him, they cussed him out. I even saw in one clip online where he was met with a marching band to drown him out. Like, that's how much they did not want him there. But I'm gonna go ahead now and get into this story. Turning Point USA head Charlie Kirk got a furious welcoming committee when he visited Northern Arizona University Tuesday night, with students shouting and cursing him out as he tried to speak, reported the Daily Beast. Kirk was there for a debate titled "Prove Me Wrong, the Government is Lying to You," according to the Beast. According to the report, Kirk was met with protesters shouting "F you fascists" and holding signs saying things like "fascist," "F off," Charlie Kirk has a small face, trans rights equal human rights, and Charlie Kirk is a piss. I'm guessing that is a piss baby. I'm guessing that's what it's supposed to say. I'm not entirely sure. TPUSA is one of the largest right-wing student organizations in the country and a key group that rallies younger conservatives to former President Donald Trump's cause, although in recent years a rift has grown between the once close leadership of TPUSA and the more formally affiliated Students for Trump organization. Over the years, TPUSA has come under several controversies, including chapter leaders promoting racial slurs on social media. The group, which promotes family values, and they put that in quotations, and opposes LGBTQ rights, was also hit with controversy 2 years ago after inviting right-wing adult film star Brandy Love as a VIP guest to their Student Action Summit in Florida, with some activists bemoaning that the invite was against their values and white nationalist groypers surrounding and harassing her. Amid all the recent drama, Fox News has sought to distance itself from the organization this year. And that is the entire article right there. And really, it didn't even have to go any further than that. That's all we really needed. What have I told y'all when it comes to people like Charlie Kirk or those who align themselves with them? They will get onto their platforms and say the most anti-Black American crap every single day to try to galvanize as many people as they want. As a matter of fact, the last time I believe I talked about Charlie Kirk was when he had an issue with Juneteenth. He sat up there on his platform and said things along the lines of Juneteenth, they're going to end up celebrating it this whole week, or they need to move Juneteenth to September or move it to this day because it's going to run and it's going to take over July 4th. If y'all remember the live stream that I did about him, Candace, and Vivek, when they all had an issue with Juneteenth, then you can go and look and see what I had to say. Charlie Kirk was like the last person I talked about in that lineup, but he has said a whole bunch of anti-Black American things over the years to get and catapult him to the platform that he has right now. And when he steps outside of that realm and starts talking about other groups, then that's when it becomes the final straw. Sort of like what happened with Candace and how I talked about her recently. As a matter of fact, a week ago from today, when y'all seeing this video, when she made those comments and she ended up getting those strikes and, suspended on the YouTube platform. When you step away from talking about the group that's not protected, then that's when you are met with a lot of pushback. And that's exactly what Charlie Kirk was met with in this instance. They booed and heckled him so much and he couldn't even finish speaking. I believe he ended up just leaving. He's not welcome in a lot of places. And I think that people like Charlie Kirk, because they know of the privilege that they have, they feel like they can go anywhere they want and everyone's going to welcome and embrace them with open arms, when that's clearly not the case. Not everybody's going to like you just because of who you are, Charlie, because you're white. This guy is very well aware of his privilege. He expresses it every single day. He knows it. He knows he's a dub S too, even though he may not come right out and say it. He knows what he is. And he wears that like a badge of honor. He wears it with his head held high and proudly as he yells it out to the sky. This is also the same guy, you know, when he always tries to do the whole whites and Asians, we got to band together and, you know, get rid of the you know who and take down the you know who. Like, just listen to, like, just watch some of the stuff that he says. I'll understand completely. If you don't, that's why many of you come over and watch me, just in case I say it, then I'll be the mouthpiece. But just look at everything and all the stuff that he talks about throughout his career, if you want to call it a career. It's the same song and dance, but this time he met his match, because not everyone, again, is going to be susceptible to him. Not everyone's going to be welcoming of him. And that's what he thinks is going to happen. Sort of like with Richard Spencer, except Charlie Kirk was lucky he didn't get hit in the face. That would have been just the cherry on top if that actually happened. Remember when Richard Spencer was going around peddling the same kind of stuff that Charlie was doing like 10 years ago or something along those lines? And not everyone was receptible to him. And he ended up getting hit in the face a couple of times. I think he got hit twice by the same people he tries to cater to. And it did not come from the people that he's trying to tell other people to just steer clear of, you know, to say they're so bad. They say and have all this vitriol for black people, but it's not black people that's not physically harming them. It's not black people going out there and trying to make something happen to them, because a lot of black people aren't even in their orbit. That's the crazy part. They go out of their way to not be around us, but they'll go out of their way to talk about us at the same time. And then they end up dealing with the situations that Richard Spencer dealt with all those years ago. You don't hear about him no more. And what Charlie Kirk got met with at this event, which hopefully he meets the same fate as Richard Spencer, as far as him just fading into obscurity in the next year or so. Let's just cross our fingers and our toes in hopes that that actually does occur. But this is a step, I guess you can say, in the right direction. Again, we didn't have to do nothing to Charlie Kirk for them to actually come to him. It's not like we reached out to this school and say, hey, Charlie Kirk is coming. He's this and he's that. Be on guard and make sure that you do this and do that to make him not come back. They already knew of what Charlie Kirk was like, because they most likely have heard the stuff that he has said, for them to actually come out and say the things that they've said about him and push back against him. And see, the thing is, Charlie Kirk tries also to be, I guess, a underground polarizing figure, where you may know about him, but you don't know about him unless he comes in your face and tries to present himself as someone new, so to speak, as if no one knows who he is. We are in the social media age. Everyone, for the most part, is aware or has heard the name, at least, Charlie Kirk before. If they have not seen his face or heard anything that he has said, they have at least heard the name. And if they haven't heard the name, they've heard of Turning Point USA. For those of y'all who don't know, Turning Point USA is Charlie Kirk's organization. He's the one that started it. He's the one that recruited Candace Owens, and then that's how we got with her and you know, a fake and followed behind her. It's one big conundrum at the end of the day. But it is what it is. I absolutely never have and never will feel bad for Charlie Kirk in any instance that he feels he has failed in, which is a lot, to be quite honest. This man, in my honest opinion, is not accomplished, at least not in anything that's worth bragging about. In his feeble mind, he feels he's probably won an Academy Award. But hey, it is what it is. Now he realizes that not everyone likes him like he probably would hope people does. That means he just needs to stay in his own bubble, just stay in his own orbit, in his own echo chamber. That's probably where he feels comfortable at. And to be quite honest, people like him, you know, Vivek Ramaswamy, Fakem, Candace, and all those others, they do well in their echo chambers. Why? Because it's an echo chamber. Once they step outside of that echo chamber, which means they have to go outside, then they don't do well. We have seen this over and over and over again, and it's going to continue to happen. It's an endless cycle. I don't know why they feel like they are better and more popular than they are. I would have a better chance in going outside and being around a lot of different people than they do. And that's not to toot my own horn, but I would like to say that I have way more charisma than Charlie Kirk ever could. I have more charisma probably in my pinky finger than he has in his whole tiny little body. But hey, it is what it is. Again, I feel nothing for Charlie Kirk. Hopefully this begins as a trend. You know, more and more places he goes, the more and more unwelcomes, I should say, that he receives. Then he'll realize, maybe, possibly, that he's not as liked as he proclaims himself to be. And I think that's another issue that he has, is he feels himself way too much. He goes around and he says all of these things. One of the craziest things that I've ever heard Charlie Kirk said was a couple years ago when Simone Biles was going through her issues with the Olympics. He tried to say that this woman who was going through what she was going through, this black woman, that she was a shame of the nation because she was going through something personal. He actually said that. He actually is quoted as saying that, and plus a whole lot more. So Charlie, listen, you on your own as far as I'm concerned. And I feel like that damn Turning Point USA needs to go down in the dump. I didn't even know that thing even still existed. It's crazy how much is continuously brought up, but it's only brought up when he's the subject matter.